Look at this shit. Look at that shit, bro. Tyrese Maxey and Jalen Williams over Jayson Tatum in the fourth quarters, bro. Jayson Tatum has been horrendous, man. In these fourth quarters. I got some old Jayson Tatum stats. I'm gonna let this marinate for a second. But Jayson Tatum, they have 13 losses, right? They lost to the Cavs, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Bucks, Pacers twice, the Thunder, the Warriors, the Magic, the Hornets, Philly, and Minnesota. Now, I know what y'all saying. Those are all good teams outside of the Hornets.
I remember that.
So, but this is my thing. 9 of those 13 games, 9 of those 13 losses, Jayson Tatum shot under 44%. 9 out of 13 of them games. That means it just ain't looking good. And most of those losses in the fourth quarter, 39, 18, and 87 was the splits in the losses. Ray, you asked, is Jayson Tatum the most unreliable number one contender? By the stats, yes. Yes. Now, if we go throw some nuance on it, we could throw some nuance on it. But me personally, I think he came into a good situation. He won early. He was a top pick out of Duke. So everything looked better. When Jaylen Brown was out against the Nets, he put up 50 and he got a game. And y'all know how we say, if you are a superstar, I don't care what's going on, you got to get a game. He got a game against the Nets and a super team. So everything just was looking good for him and everything fell in his path. But I just don't think he's good enough to win no championship as the main guy. But y'all can go now.
I'll speak real quick. I think, to me, when you think of closing, like Jayson Tatum has had these great moments in the playoff season where he's closed and he's looked good, but is he unreliable? And the answer is he's not reliable. When you think of consistent closers, he's not one of the first ones on that list. And if you're picking somebody, he's not. If you would pick, a player to close out, you're going into Game 7, you'd be hesitant to pick Jayson Tatum over Luka. You'd be hesitant to pick him over some of these other guys that can consistently that are proven to be killers in the playoff, no matter what, consistently. Like, you would not picking him over Kawhi when he's healthy. You're not picking him over. Like, in my opinion, Jayson Tatum, there's been moments where, to quote Jared Allen, the lights were a little too bright. And that's okay. He's shown when the lights haven't been bright and he's stepped up to the plate. But in my opinion, he has work to do. He's work to do to prove that he can be more consistent.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this: is he a tier 1 superstar in your mind?
I don't think he's when you say tier 1. Are you top 5 in the league? I don't think he's top 5. It's playoffs come around.
I know I can build a championship team. I'm gonna say, I know you can win a championship if I put the pieces around you. So with the switch, the topic is: is Jayson Tatum the most unreliable number one on a contender team? Is he unreliable? But what you saying, Chris?
I thought you were saying something. I was just saying you say he's a tier 1 superstar. I don't think he is. I just don't think he is. I think he's just a touch below. I think Jimmy Butler, come playoff time, he knocks him out of that tier 1.
Right.
I think he's a tier 1. Only I know we try to throw him some slight because of this him being. I mean, you can say he was drafted into the right situation. He drafted into the perfect situation, but Tatum, I mean, we've seen him get better every year.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him come in as a rookie and literally take the reins from Jaylen Brown, who was supposed to be a step ahead of him at that point in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
When they made it to the East Conference Finals, we already had this little debate. Tatum took a extra step that Brown wasn't ready for in that Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What tier is Jaylen Brown though? Jaylen Brown is damn near tier 4.
This was rookie year Jayson Tatum.
No, I see what you're saying, but I'm saying you're giving him credit. Okay, let's just keep it a bug. There was a 50 win team when Tatum got there. They was fucking already in the Eastern Conference Finals. You literally swapped out Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, and you got Gordon Hayward, Jayson Tatum, Kyrie. There's no fall off with none of them guys. I get Tatum's a rookie.
How many games did Kyrie play in that playoff run?
No, I'm not talking about the playoff run. I'm saying the team that he inherited.
That's what Tatum made his name, though, in his rookie year, in the playoffs. That's when he started showing us who he's going to be in the future.
And then
Kyrie wasn't there, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I understand that. But now that we've seen more playoff runs, we've seen what happened with the Warriors. We've seen what happened with the Miami Heat. We've seen we seen now that we moved on from that. Because we did the same thing with Donovan Mitchell. When Donovan Mitchell be OKC, what was they saying? Oh man, he the next Dwayne Wade. He look like he finna beat it. We do it a lot. But I'm saying you don't stay where we thought you were. You over time, you start to tell us who you are. So I get where he was going. Now we got to talk about where he at. He's never been on a bad team. So we don't even know how he can elevate a team off him. Like what this team is this.
What does Boston look like if he don't ever go to Boston? Are we still talking about Boston competing for championships?
That is a little bit unfair because
how is that a little bit unfair? It's not unfair to say that Tatum has always been on good teams, but it's unfair to say if Tatum wasn't there, they wouldn't be the same team. That don't make sense to me.
Okay, now replace him with any other guy that's
what other guy?
Let's say Brandon Ingram. Because Brandon Ingram, I think he was the second pick in his draft or whatever.
You think Brandon Ingram is going to come in and that'd be the same exact team? Tatum
how bad? What's the
Tatum developed way faster than Brandon Ingram did. And Ingram was in a situation where he should have been developing faster, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
When all you have to focus on is your game because you're not winning right now, so all you have to do is focus on your game.
Okay. Now let's just go.
It still was a slow progress.
So you saying no to Ingram? Okay, throw in Paul George.
You talking about young Paul George?
Yes.
I mean that's different. We already seen Paul George what he was with Indiana.
But I'm saying, how many good players would fail in that situation? That's what I'm saying. How many players that you can replace?
Paul George probably fell in that choice too, because he was losing LeBron too.
No, I'm saying, okay, who that's a good player. I'm not. Don't replace Tatum with trash. But the players like a Paul George, the players like a Carmelo Anthony, I think, because when we were talking about this earlier, Tatum got into a situation that everybody wanted Melo to get into. You remember when they took Darko Milicic, the Pistons took Darko Milicic over Carmelo Anthony, and they were saying, hey, man, if y'all would have got Carmelo, this, and that. Tatum literally got into one of them situations with Boston, bro. And I'm saying, what other top tier or mid-tier, I'm gonna say from borderline first tier, second tier, small forward that we done seen in the last few years, who would not have done what Tatum did? That's what I'm saying. It's unfair.
I don't look at basketball from that lens. That's just like saying you can take Isaiah Thomas and put him on that Showtime Lakers team, take Magic off that team. They still gonna have that's downplaying what Magic was to that team. Just because we both great players does not automatically mean it's gonna be the same type of success.
I don't think if you swap a Melo, you swap a PG, and you put them in those situations coming out the draft, that they not doing the same thing with the teams Tatum had. I'm not saying that's a perfect thing to be talking about, but I'm saying we've never seen Tatum on a bad team. We never seen Tatum on a bad team, so we don't
Tatum,
know what he.
Let's stop acting like Tatum ain't a reason why he's never been on a bad team. He's been a top player in the league for the past how many years now? Name me a top player in the league who's been on a bad team other than Luka.
Devin Booker,
Trae Young,
Devin Booker,
Anthony Edwards. Yes, Devin Booker was on a bad team.
Was he a top player in the league when he's on a bad team? No. He was not
We
a top player.
only say Jayson Tatum was a top player on a bad team because he was because he wasn't on a bad team. If he was on a bad team, we would never probably be talking about Tatum like we talk about Tatum. The fact is he inherited a good team and he never fell off outside that 1 year when Jaylen Brown got hurt, and then he went for 50 on the Nets and got a game in that series. I'm saying he's never been in a situation to where his back was against the wall.
Has he not been the clear-cut best player in every series just about since he's been in the league on his team?
Not again in the finals. Jaylen Brown was clearly better than him. No debate.
I didn't say every series. I said just about every series.
But I'm saying it's like, because I don't want to shit on Tatum, bro. But I think he in the same. Because look, Switch say SGA and Tatum in the same tier of player. Do y'all think that's true? I'm gonna go from there.
No,
just player, not in terms of accolades and what they done in the league. Just what you
gotta show me something in the playoffs.
See, here we go. This is what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
The only real competitive game we've seen SGA in, he got outplayed by his second option. So if you want to talk about Jaylen Brown, who's a second option, outplayed Tatum in the championship, we're gonna talk about how J-Dub outplayed SGA in the play-in.
Okay.
But when you add context to it, the defense is throwing more at SGA than they was throwing at J-Dub. That means J-Dub's gonna get more open looks. That's why J-Dub had a better game. But we don't look at basketball from that perspective no more. We just say, man, how you let your second option outplay you? Because he had more open looks than I did. They schemed for me, they didn't scheme for him. That's why Jayson Tatum had a worse series than Jaylen Brown. They was like, you know what? Okay. We're going to take our chance with Jaylen Brown, but we're not going to let Tatum get off. Because if he does, we're going to lose the series.
Okay. Let me put it like this. This is a hypothetical. Most of this should be hypothetical. I know what it is. Let's say SGA. Let's say they make it to the conference finals. He played good, but they lose, and now we got some tape on SGA in the playoffs. Let's just say they just couldn't handle Jokic in the post. Now, this is a hypothetical situation, Ray. Just go with me here. We see SGA have a good conference finals run in the playoffs. They just weren't good enough to compete. Knowing what you know about SGA, what you've been seeing from the last couple years, and just him as a player, basketball player, looking at his game, do you think him and Tatum are on the same level as basketball players?
I mean, if that's what you want to judge, that doesn't move you up in the rankings as being at the table with the great ones. Just being a better basketball player than somebody. That doesn't move you up.
I get it.
So I mean, you can say he's on the same tier in case, or you can say he's better. But come on now, T-Mac can't sit at the table with some people he's better than as basketball players.
That's true. That's true.
No, yeah.
So I mean,
well,
it depends on how you view basketball. You want to view it from just, man, I think he's a better hooper than him. If that's how you view it, I can't be mad at it. But I view it from your talent and what you did as a winner.
Yeah.
Okay, right. You right. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna say SGA and Tatum in the same tier right now. I think Tatum, SGA, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, they all in the same tier. The only reason why I don't think Tatum in that top echelon tier with the Lukas, with the Jokic's, with the Giannis's, it's just because, man, it's in terms of building the team, a lot gotta go right. And only a little bit can go wrong building around Tatum. A lot can go wrong building around the Jokic and Giannis and a Luka, and I'll be more comfortable with them than a Tatum, if that makes sense. That's the only thing. I feel like I damn near want Tatum in a perfect situation if we trying to win a championship. And I feel like that. I feel like it could be a little chinks in the armor, and Jokic still can get it done. It could be a little chinks in the armor, and Giannis can still get it done. It could be chinks in the armor, and I think Luka can get it done. But I don't think Luka's ever been in. He's never had a team where it's like, Luka, you gotta win with these guys. Or I don't know. Tatum been in that situation the past 3 years, bro. That's all. I just think, man, offensively with Tatum, bro, that we done seen it. Like, of course, he done had his moments. He been in a lot of big games, but consistently and trust factor, I don't trust the Celtics. The big, like, I'm just looking at their losses, and most of these was big games. The Minnesota, they won with Minnesota and they lost to Minnesota, but that first one, it was that same man, Minnesota finna play the Celtics. You know that first game is everyone I circled on their calendar. And when it came down the stretch, Anthony Edwards, Catnam was better. And it's just like, this the thing that I always worry about with you. And every time I see you lose, it's like this. It ain't never, oh, okay, he just got severely outplayed, but he still was eating. It damn near be like, man, Tatum start shooting like shit, bro. And it's like a recurring thing with Tatum. If they lose, it's because Tatum is like just literally playing bad. And it's just like it's a recurring thing. It ain't hardly too many shootouts to where it's like, well, you can't put that on Tatum. Then the most of these games, I'm putting this shit on Tatum. Like that Cleveland comeback when he went 1 for 10 in that second half, that's egregious, right? It's egregious. You started out the game on fire. They didn't even have Donovan Mitchell. All that stuff just matters to me, bro. I don't trust them. And that's half the damn battle. Maybe I'm crazy, bro. I don't trust Tatum Ray.
I mean, you don't gotta trust nobody until they give you a reason to. I mean, especially when it comes to sports, it's kind of it's one of those things where players got to demand that they have like we can say what we want about certain players now, but it was a point in time where certain players like we was like, man, I don't know. And now some of those guys are all-time greats.
Yeah. Man, Tatum literally got to hoist that Finals MVP and that goddamn that trophy, man, for me to be like, it's just that offense gets so clunky. Now, if he my second guy, I think he'd be like a generational second option, bro. Just like Jamal Murray, he's in a perfect situation for him. I think Tatum, he's just in a little bit above his head because of what we have seen, and he's been on great teams coming into the league. I think this all goes into it. We see these flashes. We see you. Oh, he went against LeBron his rookie year. Kyrie went down 7-game series, Eastern Conference Finals, 50 points against the Nets. What he doing that closeout game last year against Philly? But then it's like you got one of the worst percentages out of superstars in the fourth quarter this season. You got one of the worst resume when it comes to beating these contending teams in the regular season this year. Like, It's just we don't take too much stock into the regular season. I know that. But the games I circled on my calendar for the Celtics, so I don't watch a lot of Celtics game. I know what they was. I know what this roster is. I know they're the best team on paper. So I'm only circling select few games, Ray. And when I sit down and watch them, they losing the majority of them, bro. The games I watched is most of these 13 because these are the games that's up. Oh, that's a big game even for the regular season. And that's one of my main things. That the way they got did by the Clippers, people don't even talk about that loss. And they have a history of not being able to beat PG and Kawhi. It be things like that. I knew going into this game, I'm like, yeah, Kawhi and them, they've been handling it on the last couple years. They blew them out. That means something to me. You ain't sweeping that under the rug, bro. You got outplayed by LaMelo in a fourth quarter. I don't care if it is a regular season game. Hornets are trash. Like, I don't know. Nuggets. They terrible. They were terrible. It was a good game, but it's just like say dog. Yeesh. That's all. We can wrap it up. You got any last things to say about Tatum? Or just I don't think he that much better than Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. Just me just watching their careers. Because I know the situations they been in.
I don't really got much to add. But no, like I said though, it's kind of it's kind of like what Jerry Jones said about what's called the Cowboys, man. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna reword it for the Celtics. So the Celtics gonna go as far as Tatum taking. They got all their talent the same, but they ain't going nowhere if Tatum ain't taking them.
I'm gonna put it like this. Sometimes say, man, he just seemed like a bridesmaid. The nigga say, shit, you at the wedding and you gonna be in that talk. You gonna be in them rooms. But you ain't the one getting married. I get Mitchell has never been as far, but when we ever thought he would be? When has he been on a team that's like, say, Mitchell, if Mitchell that guy, this the team you get there with?
If you put Tatum on that Cleveland team last year, would they get out the first round?
The way he looked in that second half the other day, against that Cleveland team, without Donovan Mitchell, I don't know, bro. It is like I don't expect him to come from behind. I don't expect him from. They probably do though. I think he better than Mitchell right now. It ain't nothing he did that I say Mitchell's better, but it's like I don't think it's that far, and I think that in itself is a problem because I don't have that question with Luka. I don't have that question with Jokic and Giannis. I know they're better than Donovan Mitchell. I don't know that Tatum is better than Donovan Mitchell. Even though he is a two-way player, but offensively, it's just so clunky, bro. But we can end it. I think he a tier 2, bro. That's not bad though. Chauncey Billups got a championship. He never was a tier 1 player.
He used to hold his own against them.
And that's all that matters, man. But we can end it, man. And it's just so okay. I'm gonna ask you this before we leave. If he don't win the championship this year, is that gonna change how you feel about Tatum?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still. I said it last year after they lost. This probably gonna be the last year we see Tatum and Brown together if they don't win. People always say, man, they just gave Brown that deal. Man, that don't mean nothing. We done seen better players get done dirty.
Yeah.
At the end of that's the thing. Like, fans look at sports and be looking at stats. GMs be looking at, man, are we winning? I don't care if you're giving me 10 points a game or are you contributing to the W's. You could be out there giving 30 points and we taking L's, you out of here. Fans gonna look at it, he's not the reason we losing, though. Based on the role that he has on his team, yeah, he is. I'm not expecting a role player to have the responsibilities of the number one, number two guy. So yes, this number one and number two guy is the problem why we not winning. I'm not gonna go straight to the bottom of the list and be like, you're only giving me 5 points a game. You're the reason why we losing. Like, what? If I'm getting only 5 points a game, more than likely I'm not getting that many minutes. So how you gonna put the blame on me?
I agree. So do you think Jayson Tatum is the most unreliable number one on the Contender?
I'm not gonna say he's the most unreliable, but he's more on the bottom half than the upper half of that list of being reliable.
Well, I guess we can end it there. You ain't got anything else, do you?
Only thing else I gotta say is Tatum has the power to change that this season or this playoffs.
Facts. Well, this your boy Dean Noseball. That's Ray. Shout out both the Chris's. And this is another episode of Who His Story Podcast. We out.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can look comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.